Hello, lovely people. Thanks for watching the clip, and thanks again for your really nice comments, very encouraging comments from the last few clips. I was just thinking maybe I'm going to write another ebook just based on Neville Goddard's teachings and trying to help others to manifest better. So if you've got anything that you think is really important to go in there, any ideas at all, then just put them here and I will write something on them and do a clip. So that will give me an idea of what people really need. So this one is about failure. Not a very popular topic, but one that I think we've all experienced. So it's good to address it head on and so we can learn how to prevent it, really. And before I start, this is my little Christmas jumper, bar humpug. If I had a dog, it would be a pug, because I like pugs, my little child-size jumper. So just so you know what time of year it is when you're watching this in the summer. So I'm going to read again from my book, The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, and it's the chapter called Failure, as I said. So I'll read some parts and then just talk about what it means to me and see what you think. So it starts, if having read this book, having a thorough knowledge of the application and working of the law of assumption, you faithfully apply it in an effort to attain some intense desire and fail, what is the reason? That's what we're asking ourselves, isn't it? If to the question, did you persist enough, you can answer yes. Yes, I did. And still the attainment of your desire was not realised. What is the reason for failure? I mean, we always blame ourselves then. Well, actually, I do, but maybe some people just think, oh, it's not true. But it is true, the law of assumptions. So we must be doing something not quite right. So what is it? The answer to this is the most important factor in the successful use of the law of assumption. The time it takes your assumption to become fact, your desire to be fulfilled, is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be, of already having what you desire. So it's all about a naturalness to your feeling, just feeling natural that it has happened. And that goes back to the assumption part. You've just got to assume that you have it and relax into that feeling. So it has to be natural. The fact that it does not feel natural to you to be what you imagine yourself to be is the secret of your failure. Regardless of your desire, regardless of how faithfully and intelligently you follow the law, if you do not feel natural about what you want to be, you will not be it. If it does not feel natural to you to get a better job, you will not get a better job. The whole principle is vividly expressed by the Bible phrase, you will die in your sins. Next page. You do not transcend from your present level to the state desired. So it's all about the naturalness of the feeling. And when we are a state, we're that state. It's just totally natural because we are it. So to become that state, then it has to feel completely natural to us. And if we don't believe in the naturalness of the feeling, then it's just not going to happen. So are you creating a really natural feeling? Are you playing with that feeling and having fun with it and keeping it relaxed, not grasping after things and holding too tightly, because that's not going to bring them to you. You've got to let go for them to come towards you, which is the ironic thing. So just that feeling of freedom in the naturalness, and really imagining what would that feel like. We've got to get a good sense of what it would feel like. The essential feeling of naturalness can be achieved, here we go, by persistently filling your consciousness with imagination, imagining yourself being what you want to be or having what you desire. So if you imagine that you have what you desire, you're going to get a feeling from that, aren't you? A really good feeling. If you imagine being who you want to be, you're going to be a sense of the kind of person you would be. And that's actually the most important thing, because you would change as a person. So imagine what kind of person you would become if you were to have your desire. Progress can spring only from your imagination, from your desire to transcend your present level. What you truly and literally must feel is that with your imagination, all things are possible. And some people just don't believe that, or they say they do, but the way they behave betrays the fact that they do not believe that. And I truly believe that anything is possible to us at all. Anything. It doesn't mean that we'll all get what we want. I mean, we have to follow the law of liberty, as Neville Goddard calls it. But anything is possible. And some people just don't believe that. It's just deep in their mentality. They haven't got that freedom of thought, freedom of imagination. And you know them when you meet them, and you just feel, I just feel sorry for them, because I just think you could have whatever you want, but you don't believe in your imagination. You don't believe in yourself. And so it doesn't matter what I say. They've developed their belief system to be slightly negative. So I can't convince them. And it's sad, but it's like Neville Goddard said in one of his videos that one day you may be years ahead, you may have people working for you and they may have been listening to his very talk, but that person got ahead, you, and the other person didn't listen, and so they didn't get ahead, and that's life. So you've got to put it into practice, otherwise it's not going to work for you, and you know that anyway, so I'll just carry on. Okay, let's have a look. With your imagination, all things are possible. Very important. And just before I keep reading, that's why when I wrote the book, Imagining Creates Reality, which I just made free, but this is the last day. I think it might have already gone. Yeah, I think it has already gone. But the first chapter, I wrote about God, the imagination, your consciousness, because I felt that is the basis for everything. And if you don't believe that you have the creator of the universe living within you, and all that power is within you to create whatever you want, then how are you going to do it? You've got to have faith. So it's so important that you believe in yourself, in what's within you. And if you don't have that, it's just trying something out. But I think most people wouldn't persist if they didn't have a strong belief. So you've got to really develop that belief first. So I urge everybody to do that. You must realise that changes are not caused by caprice, but by a change of consciousness. You may fail to achieve or sustain the particular state of consciousness necessary to produce the effect you desire. But once you know that consciousness is the only reality and is the sole creator of your particular world, and have burnt this truth into your whole being, then you know that success or failure is entirely in your own hands. That's what I was just saying. It's up to you. So keep listening to Neville Goddard and burn it into your whole being. Not literally, Don't play with fire, it's dangerous. But it's like I said in another clip, saturate yourself. It's just like we're used to thinking in a different way. So even though we might hear his teachings and think, yes, I believe that intellectually, it takes a while for it to really permeate every fibre of our being. And even then we forget because we're human beings. So we have to keep listening to him, keep practicing it every day until it becomes really, really natural, and then it'll work. Whether or not you are disciplined enough to sustain the required state of consciousness in specific instances has no bearing on the truth of the law itself. But an assumption, if persisted in, will harden into fact. The certainty of the truth of this law must remain, despite great disappointment and tragedy. Even when you see the light of life go out and all the world go on as though it were still day, you must not believe that because your assumption failed to materialize, the truth that assumptions do materialize is a lie. If your assumptions are not fulfilled, it is because of some error or weakness in your consciousness. However, these errors and weaknesses can be overcome. Therefore, press on to the attainment of ever higher levels by feeling that you already are the person you want to be. And remember that the time it takes your assumption to become reality is proportionate to the naturalness of being it. So it's all about the naturalness of feeling. And I've just written underneath play, because that's what it made me think about when I was reading that. Because sometimes I will just throw in a conversation. Oh, yeah, well, when I'm a millionaire, I'll do that. And maybe you think, oh, you're so materialistic, aren't you? Well, probably most of you will think, yeah, when I'm a millionaire too. But I'm actually not a materialistic person. I never have been. I'm really not. But I need money for certain things. And I see money as being freedom, I suppose. A sense of freedom. I believe I'm already truly rich from within. That's true richness, knowing that the creator of the universe lives within me and within you, within all of us. Nothing is more amazing than that. And I've only got a sense of a fraction of the power that exists within me. I don't feel it or see it as it truly is, but hopefully one day I will. And nothing will ever compare to that. And that's really amazing. I think if we meditate on the power within us, we'll get a small sense of what it is, and that's going to really help our faith to grow. So I'm going to do that after this clip because I never do it. And so important. You see, our minds just get so caught up in day-to-day reality and thinking about money, which takes me back to my first point about being a millionaire. So I'll spend a bit of time thinking about that, but not so much on the fact that God lives within me. And that's actually more important. And then if I meditate on that, I'll get everything, I believe, because all things are possible to the imagination, to God. But I digress. So back to the millionaire statement. I'm not materialistic, really, but I just think money makes your life easier. It can make your life easier anyway. And we all need a certain amount to live. I would like to have more time to do clips like this and write and travel and give my parents a holiday, spend money on people. That would be nice to be able to be more generous. So it would help. But because I'm genuinely not materialistic. I don't long for money. I'm not so attached to the outcome. And I think that's really important. And I can't say I've had massive success yet, but I truly believe that one day I will be a millionaire. I truly believe that. And I started off saying it as a joke, really. I didn't really believe it. But I just say, oh yeah, when I'm a millionaire, ho ho ho. And I say it exactly the same way now. I don't bore people with it, but every now and then a situation will come up and I'll just say, oh yeah, I'm going to do that when I'm a millionaire, you know? And when I say it to the children, because I teach children, they just accept it. And it's great. So I can really have fun and play with that. And why do they accept it? Because they're children and they believe things more easily. And they're great with their imagination. As adults, we can sometimes become a bit limited and believe certain things are not possible. But children don't think like that, usually, most children. So that's really great. It's so pure. I love that. And then I'll say it to an adult sometimes because I don't care. I don't care what they think. Just say, oh, when I'm a millionaire. And often I'll get a positive response. And sometimes people will look at me like, what do you mean? Don't understand. Like malfunction. Because you're a teacher, so how could you possibly become a millionaire? But I'll tell you the reaction I get a lot. It'll be somebody saying, oh, do you play the lottery? And as soon as they say that, I think they're never going to have money. And I might be wrong, but the reason I think like this is because their mind automatically goes to the fact that their life, they believe, that the only way I could become a millionaire is if I was entering the lottery. That's the only option available to me. And I don't even enter the lottery. I mean, maybe I should. It is a possible way. I'm not denying that. But I just feel, that they limit themselves in their minds because they think that's the only way. It's very rare somebody will actually say to me, oh, how are you planning on becoming a millionaire? Very, very rare. It's hardly ever happened. And I would love it to happen more often because then I could talk about my dreams and how they could make it come true too with the imagination. But nobody asks, so I don't say anything. But yeah, when I hear the lottery thing, I just think, oh, you don't believe. And then recently somebody said that to me and I said, look, you can do it too. It's possible. And I really believe I'm going to achieve it. And they just didn't believe me. And so I just stopped because there's no point in wasting your breath. Some people believe, some people are more open-minded, and some people just don't. And so you just got to respect that and not push it too much and hope that there will be a time when they will open up a bit more and just see themselves as having more possibilities. But don't you be that person. So keep your mind open and keep playing with the imagination, like children play, going back to the children. They will play make-believe and pretend that they are somebody. And we should do that. We should do that too. When maybe you're walking alone and you're just imagining, oh, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, or that's my house over there. And you keep it private unless you're with somebody who thinks along the same lines, and then you could just play a bit with it. That would be really good. And you just get on with everyday life. But just ideas are coming from your initial desire, and you're building on that in your imagination world, and it will happen. So I urge you to keep going, and I really wish you all the best. Please let me know if you've had any success, and remember that the best way to overcome failure is to keep the feeling natural. So as natural as possible, just assume you have what you want. You are the person you want to be. And let me know what you would like me to write about and record about. So thank you so much for listening to the end of the clip. I hope you found that helpful. And good luck, all the best, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Bye.